Hi, it's Robert Dreamrealist back again with another chess analyst video. Today I'm curious about the World Girls Junior Championships level, how they play, what strength they have, how good they are, and what style they play. I mean, there is a theory that maybe female players play a little bit different than male players, and I'm trying to identify that difference because I notice myself when I play female players, there are many different aspects in the game that are into play psychologically, and also the way they play and the way they handle the game from scratch to the end. And my goal with this little video is not really scientific, but I'm just gonna make a little video from that perspective. Um, anyway, let's look at the final game, round 11 between Ab- Abdumalik Zhansaya and Jennifer Ju from USA. Um, and they are probably really sharp, and we're gonna see how sharp from now. And I'm gonna start over the game. Just okay. So let's see what they do here. I'm not gonna pretend I'm an opening specialist because I'm not. I'm more of an ad-lib player, but of course I know a little bit. What I'm gonna try to focus on are the specific points where the players are really creative and do something new and something out of the ordinary from these standard moves. So far you can see it's pretty much standard moves. They're trying to develop their pieces, they're trying to gain control of center, even though this is not like the normal way to gain control of center. Normally you do it with the central pawns, but now both of them chose to do it with c pawns. So yeah, it's kind of a different approach than most players do, and that in itself indicates that they're trying to get out of normal theory, or at least normal variations in normal central pawn openings. Uh, okay, let's move on. Okay, black has actually taken the more bold initiative. Um, Not much to say yet, but still you see it's white that takes the more defensive attitude, and black that actually plays more aggressively and play as if they had white pieces, which is an interesting fact. So maybe we can see already the difference in their attitudes, in the way they play the game, in the way they handle the initiative in chess. Okay, let's move on. So we have full development of the knights. We have, yeah, we have three pawns here, and if we take this line here, we can see that compared to this line, we can see that black has the initiative a little bit here, and nobody has castled yet, but okay, it will come. This move, I wonder about. I don't think it's strong enough, but maybe it has to be played. I don't know. She probably plays this opening a lot, but for me, I don't know. It doesn't really cling right in my ears. We will see if I'm right or not. It just doesn't feel like the right move in this particular moment. Anyway, we will see. So Abdumalik, she actually plays more sound so far as I can see, and I'm not saying that just because I know she's the world champion, in junior world champion. I'm really trying to be objective here. I'm sure Jennifer Yu is an extremely strong player too, even with her playing style. So castling, okay, and now we have a full, almost, yeah, full, one more move with the queen, and then we have full development, connected rooks. That means it's full development in my book. And here you see, to connect rooks, you have, for white, you need two more moves at least, and then you have connected rooks. Here you just need one, so clear who has the initiative here. It's not by much. You can see the computer says, okay, actually computer says white is a little bit ahead, but with those little small levels, 0.04, it doesn't mean anything in computer chess. So because the the resolution in the heuristics, they are not that good to be able to measure that. I think you can even say 0.2 is about the level where, okay, maybe there is some truth in that heuristic evaluation, 0.2, but 0.04 as in this case, that's ridiculous. So, okay, let's move on. Yeah, I'm gonna try to also add my perspective about the engines evaluation, as I'm into computer engines and chess, and have been since many years back, even since 1980, where I played the first chess engine that came out on the market, uh, and I bought my own actually like half year or 1 year later, and then I tested a bunch of them like for 5 years. Uh, they were not very strong at the moment, but still, I followed the development from scratch. And even that's why I started to study computer science and AI, artificial intelligence, first in school, in the high school. I did a special thesis about the brain, and also about artificial intelligence around 1989, 90. And then I continued with research about this field and cognitive science and all that stuff. So I have done some robotics and yeah, of course, chess engine and more AI games of that type. Anyway, enough of that about that. But that's my professional field. I work with AI and have been doing that for quite many years now. Anyway. So let's move on to this game. What happens here? Queen, rook. Okay, so now we see that Abdumalik has connected her rooks. I consider this full development. White has a knight edged into the position, but that knight can be taken. And of course, this pawn, there will be a pawn coming in this position, which is kind of, yeah, blocking a lot of black's movement and kinetic energy. So what I think is that even though black has the most development, has the fastest development, I think white still has a kind of potential position. There are no limitations for what she could do with the position at the moment. Okay, Abdumalik has an idea, and the idea is to cripple that bishop and try to get some kind of initiative with the queen. And also, this bishop is actually it's a center piece, because it both defends the white king's position, and it defends that pawn. So it means this bishop is really important for white, and that's what Abdumalik has realized. So she's gonna try to exchange it. Of course she can, and she does. And now we have a king exposed, and suddenly this pawn is not that strong anymore. But of course we have this defender here, who at some point will defend. And then we have this structure here. That means holes here, and yeah, not really hole here, but pretty much you can start to see the future constellation of the center, which is important for any player to be able to see what's going to happen with the center really early and have that vision. Some players have an extremely good vision to see how pieces are going to be crystallized or fixed like 10 moves later or 5 moves later or even a long time later, like, I don't know, 20 moves even further in the game. I'm trying to become better at that actually. It has my daily problem solving has helped me a lot because I solve like 6 movers, 7 movers sometimes, 8 movers sometimes, and very often just normal 3, 4, 5 movers, but still I manage to lift my vision, my ability to see how the pieces are going to crystallize a little bit later into the game. But of course that's in a specific problem situation, but it's a little bit different in these physiological, futuristic and scenarios, because then you don't know exactly what's going to happen, and then you have to like imagine, like, okay, you have to assume certain things, and then you have to add other factors, and after a while you need to get a fuzzy logic image of what's going to happen with the center in 10 moves, in 20 moves, in 5 moves, and you have to do it quite accurately. With, of course, problem solving, that I do every day is more really easily, that you can really, okay, I know the bishop will be at that point, and I know that queen will be here, and I know the king will be here, etc., etc. And of course there could be variations and options, but and that's of course what makes the chess problems hard to solve, because you need to find these lateral moves in every fixed situation. There could be like 7 fixed situations at some 7, 8 movers, but really easy 3 movers or 4 movers, they are seldom more than a couple of variations, maybe even, yeah, maybe 3 max. But of course they can be hard too if the moves are lateral enough. Anyway, that's a little explanation about problem solving. I'm gonna make a movie about clip about that, maybe a few clips about that, as I find it really interesting. Anyway, let's move on to this game again. Let's see what's going on here. Pushing back. So we see Jennifer. Jennifer has an aggressive side, even if she started out defensively, which is interesting to see. And Abdumalik is Abdumalik, I think. So Zhansaya is probably her real name, yeah, probably, and her family name is Abdumalik. Okay, so I have difficulty to pronounce Zhansaya, so I would say Abdumalik, and I would say Jennifer here in this case. What's going to happen here is we kind of see that whites start to get a little bit edge here, 0.16, which we can see because if we look at those two lines here, rows, and you can measure actually pretty much a lot of the time you can, in the beginning at least, you can measure who is actually having the initiative by checking those 2 rows. It's just a heuristic, like a really fast heuristic. In blitzing you use it, but also generally too. But sometimes, of course, it's not correct. But 95% normally it is quite correct. So you can see white has an aggressive point here, has moves, but of course it can be wiped out easily. But black doesn't want the white pawn in here, blocking these extremely important squares. So and Jennifer knows that, so that's why she plays the knight so early into the position, and thanks to that she has potential to strike at some point, and it's all about timing. When should the knight be exchanged, and at what point does not this pawn it's not that point any threat. So so let's see what happens more. Yeah, let's see. Okay, now we have 2 pawns, and now we see the constellation here as I predicted. Of course, so it's not that hard, but it's important to see what's going to happen later on in the game. And now we have the bishop coming in from this angle, because now that knight has the same opportunity as this knight, as Jennifer's knight. So, and white has to be able to liquidate it. And what else going to happen here? You see a really locked center at the moment. We see that this line, F line, is starting to become much more important. We see that we kind of start to see an end game in this, and the end game has to do with the rooks, and you can see that the fight is going to happen at these files, F file, and the queens, they need to get hold of an important square where they can exert power on the opponent. So this is what I can kind of see from them at the moment. Sorry about my English, it's really early in the morning and I didn't really have breakfast yet, but I thought I felt like making a video because I haven't done the videos for a long time. I need to get back to the video making again. So let's see. F5 played. Yeah, as I said, this is where the action is going to happen. And again, white takes a defensive approach. But now we know that she has an aggressive side. She's just waiting for the right moment. And black doubles up. Not yet. Actually decided to take away that knight at this timing point, which is interesting. And just back up a little bit here. Jennifer chose to use this square as his queen. Actually, can you see that now she connected the rooks? Finally. So she doesn't really care about the rook connection thing because she's more like I would say she's more of a tactical player. She does that when she finds it the right move. Just for example, as I don't like to castle normally unless I find it tactically a correct move. But some players play these pragmatic moves where they connect rooks, castle early, because they know that generally those moves are good. And I wouldn't say that that is the most sharp chess, but it's probably pretty wise chess, and they probably win a lot through that, mostly. But in some games they might lose because of that too. So that's, you should take that into consideration. Hope I explained that enough. And let's move on. Why did Abdumalik take that knight at this point? Well, because she's opening up here, and that knight can get a tactical situation later on, because all this stuff are going to open up really quickly soon, and that's going to make the position a little bit hard to overlook in 10 moves ahead or 15 moves ahead. So she decides probably to take it away before all this hell breaks loose. Okay, that's why my theory, and I'm sticking to it for now. So, and why did Jennifer choose to take with the C pawn? Well, if she takes with the E pawn, then these two pawns get a lot of power. I mean, yeah, they kind of get a lot of power, and black becomes stronger on this flank where the kings are. So I think she decided to give the line, open up the line, half open the line here, and instead of here, because of that pressure that would give if those two pawns got free. That's my idea. And Abdumalik backs up with the knight. There are not many other squares she could have played, because otherwise she will obstruct that rook's movements. So that's probably the wisest move. And now Jennifer plays the knight to c3. Okay, c3, and what's going to happen? Now we see we kind of see a battle about the pawns at the moment. This pawn and also this pawn. White is trying to get a really strong hold of her center pawns here. This, and even here. So it's probably a really good square to place the knight at. And as you can see, at the moment, Abdumalik has actually a little edge. Now we can start to trust the computer's evaluation. It's past 0.2. And if you look at those two again, as I said before, then we can see the following. These three pawns has power over this square, this square, this square, and this square. That's four really important, and on this one twice. So that's at least four really important strongholds. And what happens here is, on that line, for a row, we only have this pawn, little pawn, that can do something. And of course, we have those two that exert power on these. So, well, we can see it's even, but for some reason, it looks like black has a little bit of edge. It's hard to really say exactly why, but even just by measuring those two rows, you can kind of see it. Anyway, move on. Now black pushes, and now we see the power of this pawn and this structure, and bishop backs up because those things there are hanging with the open bishop line here, and she had the big bishop back up. Abdumalik continues. She's from scratch showed an aggressive playing style and attitude in her game, and she really likes to attack. You can see that clearly as black, as she does all these moves. Jennifer is more of a balanced player, I think. I mean, they're probably balanced in their own way, but in the sense of defense and attack, I think Jennifer is more balanced. She likes to play a little bit in a cloak, like a cloaked disguise, and attack at the moment she wants. While Abdumalik is like this warrior who just shows that she has all these weapons and she want to attack with them quite openly. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's both of their personalities too. I don't know them, but you probably can guess. Or if you know them, you can confirm me or not, and they can confirm themselves if they happen to hear this analysis. Okay, moving on. H3, sure. What about that move? Yeah, well, H3 is I don't know. It's a little. I don't know. I can't really say. It looks like. Let's see what happens here. No, it looks. I can't see much of an idea behind it. More than she needs some kind of defense here in this line, but I don't see the edge of the move yet. Maybe there is one, but it looks a little bit passive. And also, it was actually defending this pawn, so I don't know. Maybe it wasn't good at all. So queen comes in. So what is the point with this move? Sometimes I do these kind of moves too, but sometimes they're just really flat, and they don't mean anything. Just it's like a queen that doesn't do anything, even if, of course, in this case she's actually threatening a pawn. But sometimes these kind of moves look good, but they are not good, and they can even pose a threat, back threat. You know, this backlash with the bishop here, and the queen has almost no square to enter and retreat to, and it could be pose a problem. But we will see what happens. So far, so good, and also the computer doesn't indicate anything bad so far. But Abdumalik just moves on with the king and protects the pawn really calmly, and there's nothing to worry about for her. And now Jennifer goes really hard here. She pushes the with the bishop from the back, which is really looks to me unsound because I don't know where the threat is at the moment. But of course, maybe there is something that I didn't see so far, but it doesn't look sound to me, this move here. You should always try to give the queen a natural retreat square. And let's see what happens. Pushing the pawn from that side. Abdumalik is trying to distract Jennifer now. She knows there is a weakness here, and she's gonna use it a little bit later, but she can't use it in a direct way. She first has to find other threats to combine with that threat. That's my idea. That's how I think she thinks at the moment. And okay, so things start to happen. A pawn push here gives the two strong pawns on queen flank, which so far are not really that big of a threat, but the chemistry of the queen flank has absolutely changed. And rook moves on to b3. Why? You can ask why. Because what is going on here? Why does the rook go to b3, really? Seriously? Because this, well, it's like a prophylactic move, because she's expecting, I mean, she wants to play maybe f4, and then this will open up, and then the bishop will, yeah, so this is more or less like I am going to open up the f4 pawn. That she's more or less saying that with that move, that rook move. And because otherwise, why would that move be played? I mean, yeah, sure, the doubling here of the rooks could be an idea, but yeah, of course, yeah, sure, the doubling. But she chose to play here, where it can be attacked by a pawn easily. So I don't know. This is a little bit unclear. But let's say so far it's pretty okay move. And rook strikes. What happens? Okay, the doubling came, and the rook goes up to defend, and now the knight moves away to e2, away from this angle, and then this move could come sooner or later, but I don't know, maybe it's not going to come at all. This is interesting though, that she uses this pawn as some sort of yeah, I don't know, it's very clever to use opponent's pawn as a defense fort piece. Sometimes I use it in my own games, but this was interesting, the way she chose to do that early on. I like the idea, and yeah, hope she gets some benefits from it, because she was creative enough to allow it to happen. Rook to f8. What's going on with that? Queen strikes at g3. Okay. Right. Huh? And now we have another fight here. The fight is not on f anymore. Maybe it was just from the beginning, but then it's on a, which I also predicted. Either f or a, and now we see the fight is on a and also on b. Okay. Protection of the pawn here, and what's going on here? Rook strikes at e4 and queen. Now things are interesting. Aggressive. What happens now? Bishop to e3. Starting to be a little bit of an endgame here. Bishop is going to be blocked. They will be exchanged probably, these bishops, as they are playing on the same diagonals. These knights are, yeah, so far taking a defensive position. And it's all about the rooks now, what's going to happen with the rooks. And of course, the queens have something to say, but so far, the head players are the rooks. And now we have a knight coming in, defending naturally. And then we come, Abdumalik comes in with the rook, gets a little bit of free time with her rook, thanks to her knight that defends this pawn. And that gives Jennifer an incentive to leave that file and move over to this file, which probably was her idea all the time, but she just waited for the right moment. I mean, this has been a weak spot at almost all the game. And queen comes in. Now we see that Jennifer is the one who attacks a really sensitive square, and Abdumalik is the one defending that sensitive square. So we see once again Jennifer's cloaked attack behavior, and then now something happens with the knight. I don't know exactly what, but she doesn't want to have this pawn over to all the way over here. But I don't know if she can stop it. Doesn't seem like she can stop it really. At the moment, Abdumalik is really ahead. She gets a lot of territory here with the rooks. The pawn here can't be taken, so this is kind of hard here for Jennifer. She sees all this territory coming in the hands of Abdumalik, and this threat here, so far there is nothing she can do more than what she has done, and so the potential of that attack wasn't really big, you know. While Abdumalik moves on, puts more pressure with the rooks. Now she had a stronghold with her knight. The pawn is steady there, and king, oh my god, king made an extremely weak move here. So the question is, that move looks bad, but exactly why it's a little bit hard to say. But it's probably because when you use that bishop to exchange that bishop, then this position, this weak square is really weak. So I think that's something about, yeah, that's exactly what was the problem. And take, okay, and now we suddenly have an extremely difficult position. Of course, she can move up the king, but then we have most likely another problem, which is there is some nasty stuff going on here. There's a knight coming in from that angle. What else? No, can't see much so far. But doesn't look sound, right? I mean, this strong doubled up rook line, and then this pawn here threatening to push, but of course not yet. But we have to. But Abdumalik still has to find the final blow, and at the moment I can't really find it. I think there is something, and also she has to protect this weak spot. So I'm not exactly sure, but you can see that the computer say the black has won more or less. So there is something here that I don't see at the moment. I just want to try to find it. What the heck can it be? It must be something about. Maybe they exchange. Maybe they exchange enough. Is maybe queen goes here, checks, and then takes. Then we have a pawn here. No more threat here, and we have really strong rook line here. What else? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay, I want to check. Oh, that is the move. Knight to c5. Yeah. I didn't see that. This is a good move. Why? Because you can push this pawn here. She can push this pawn here, and then that becomes c2 becomes a stronghold, and everything goes on from there. So this move is brilliant. Brilliant because I didn't see it. And sorry, I get a cold here. I have to take an allergy tablet. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. So I live with a cat. I have cat allergy, but I didn't have from beginning when I have got her. But after living with her for 2 years, then I got cat allergy, and now she has been my cat for 10 years. So yeah, sort of a guy with a kryptonite in my own apartment. But yeah, that's how it is when you love your cat and you don't want to lose her. So then you just keep on rocking. Anyway, allergy tablets fix that. It's not a problem. So what's going on here? Yeah, we're just discussing this pawn's movement, right? And king moves away. Start to see those problems here, of course. Also want to back up. He doesn't want to exchange queens at the moment, so this is kind of a. But this is yeah. It seems like things are really going bad now for Jennifer, and this move will be followed up by really nasty moves like. Let me see. Can you take here now? I think you have to push this pawn, right? That's the next move. No, is it? Oh, this one hangs. Sorry, it will hang after a while. First you take here, and then you take here. Yeah. Or oh, you attack the rook here, and then it's a double, and then. So now the rook has back up to the protect. What's going on? But it doesn't. She goes here, and then. Okay. Takes. Oh, check here. Okay. Takes. And now Abdumalik has another nice creative lateral move. She checks from a7. a7. Oh yeah. Let's the queen lose there. That's dangerous, of course. And then it pushes. Of course, that's doomed, right? There is no perspectives here for Jennifer. Abdumalik just pushes. Things are really looking bad here, and then takes, of course, and then yeah, it's over. It's over. Wow. Yeah.